Yeah, that's why I drew that pathetic rainbow, because God knows that.
Let's keep going.
Okay, keep going. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next one. So polynomials is an expression of coefficients and variables. This was the linear one we had experience with. This is the quadratic one, and this was a cubic and quadratic. So the degree of a polynomial. So pretty easy to add like polynomials. We combine like terms. So here we add the 2a and the 4a cubed. We add the a's and we add the constants. Pretty easy. Whoops. So if we subtract polynomials, we combine like terms as well. So if we're subtracting 8x minus 10 from 4x plus 7, you have to remember to distribute the negative sign to both terms. I'm still in my purple rainbow phase, I guess. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So here we have a polynomial expression. So we have to distribute the negative. So that will give us 4x plus 2 minus 2x plus 6 is 10. 2x plus 8 is 10. Subtract the 8. 2x is 2. X is 1. So everybody in this world got it? Thumbs up? Good, Sailor. And how do I do this again? There we
That
go.
right there.
And oh, Silas has got his thumb. Great job. And Julia's good. Sailor, you okay, good. Okay, now what I like to do with these, if they give them to you on the test, is align the variables. And this is what I mean. So we have a squared b minus 3b squared plus 6ab squared. So the secret will be to put this, a negative and negative is a plus, so that'll be a plus a squared b minus 3ab squared. So we'll put that over here. And then we'll have a negative 3a. We have a negative 3ab squared. We just got that. And then a plus 3b squared. So if we align them, we can see very easily that this will be 2a squared b. These are additive inverses, so they vaporize, plus 3ab squared, and it's beginning to look a lot like C. So everybody good with that one? Good. It's going to get a little more harrowing tonight. So this one is nice because it's all aligned for you. So see if you can beat me to the answer. Oh, Logan, glad you're here. So Logan, can you show me your face, sweetheart? We're doing the polynomial packet. Okay, honey, it's polynomial, factory, and quadratics. And so if for any reason your audio isn't clear, Logan, just raise your hand and tell me, okay? Okay. So we're just adding these. We're on page 3 of the packet. And so it's beginning to look a lot like A. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So here we're going to align them. We want 2y plus a z. So we're going to put 2 before this expression. So that'll be 2x cubed plus 6x plus 10. And then we have to add a z. So if we add the z, that's going to be an x squared, which we're going to put in right here. That's why I mean aligning it helps. Plus 6x plus 1. And so when we add these, we'll get 2x cubed plus the x squared plus 12x plus 11. So that is C. Is that good for this group? Sailor, you're good. And Dominic, you're good. And okay, good. Now let's try a book one. Oh, before we go any further, make a note of this. So take the next practice test this Saturday, okay? If you can't take it on Saturday, you can take it on Sunday, probably before the Super Bowl, but sometime this weekend, take the next practice test. If you took test 4, try test 5. Because we want you to have 3 under your belt before you go into the real test. I'm glad that we mentioned that. Okay. So let's go to page 726. And we're going to look at I'm going to have you try number 12. If you like that strategy of aligning the variables, you can do that.
That's not a 12. It's a -5, 7 minus 5.
Oh, 7 minus 5. I'm sorry, it's 2.
And maybe, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's 2. 7 minus 5. I think otherwise you had it right.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So how many in this group got D? Sailor, you good? Thanks, Dominic. And the next group, Logan's good, Simon's good, Julia and Sailor. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go back to the packet and we're going to go to page 4. Okay, this brings in a new twist, which your math teacher probably didn't give you problems like this. So here, let's shrink this a little bit. So if the expression above is rewritten in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, what is the value of b? So all we're trying to do is find the coefficient of x. Does everybody see that? That's what they mean. It might not be x, it might be an x cubed. So anyway, we have this. We have minus 4x squared and then plus 6x minus 3 minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. So we don't really need the x squareds. All we're trying to do, oops, I didn't mean to draw that, is try to get the coefficient before the x, which will be 6x and 4x, which will be 10. Does everybody see that? Now that you're good. And the other group, good. Dominic, good, good. Okay, so let's try a book one. how they might do this to you. So we're going to go to page 359, number 12. So you have to come up with a number. Try to beat me to the answer. We're trying to get the number before the x cubed. So basically we have 5x cubed, I'm going to forget the numbers, plus 4x cubed.
I think you might confuse them with crossing things out that don't.
Okay.
Um,
Did anybody get just a 9? Did I confuse you by,
yeah, I don't like that because that makes it look like
okay,
they're
start.
going away or something.
Okay, sorry. All right, so we have 5x cubed minus 3 minus and minus 4x cubed plus 8. So that's going to be 5x cubed minus 3 plus a 4x cubed minus an 8. So we can combine like terms. So 5x cubed plus 4x cubed is 9x cubed. It would be negative 11.
Right.
But we only need the 9. Did anybody get 9 from this group? Oh, good. So that's going to be an easy problem on test day. And let me go to the other group. Logan, you're good with that one? Silas is good. Julia and Sailors, good. Okay. Okay. So back to the packet. Okay, so when we multiply polynomials, you know you can distribute. And then you also have had a lot of algebra, so you know how to do first, outer, inner, last, right? That's pretty easy. Okay, let's look at number 1. Which of the following is not equivalent to 8m squared? Well, this one would be 16m squared. So that's our answer. This would be 8m squared. This would give us m squared of 8 times m squared of 8, which is going to give us m squared times 8. And this will give us 8m squared. So everybody good with A as the answer, right? Good. Okay, on to the next one. Now, if you get one like this, what we would suggest is to sort of fly like an eagle above the problem, because that might save a lot of work. Because if I take 4 to the 4th power, that's not going to be 4, right? That's way too big. 4 to the 4th is
256.
256. So this is too big. 4 to the 2nd is going to be 16. That doesn't work. 2 to the 4th is also 16. That doesn't work. But look at this one. If I square this term, and of course they put it as the last one to try. I will get 4x squared plus 6x squared plus 6x squared, which is 12x squared y squared plus 9x squared.
No, it's a Y.
9y to the 4th, sorry. So that's going to be D. Everybody good with that one? Good. Thanks, Sailor. And wow, good. Okay, so this one, let's try this one. Again, we're trying to get the value of B. So you have to distribute and then you're going to find out the coefficient before the x. So try to beat me to the answer. Did everybody get 18? Dominic, you're good with 18? And Jacob? Good. Everybody here, Logan, you're good with 18? Good. Okay, let's try the next one. Number 4. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression shown above? So first, let's FOIL this inner part. And we'll get 6x squared plus 4x plus 9x plus 6. Then we have to multiply it all by 2. So that'll give us 12x squared plus 8x plus
Well, you
18.
could combine those like terms first, right? The 4x and the 9x.
Yeah,
So that's 13x then.
yeah,
And then you multiply it by 2.
yeah. I could get this as 13x. Yeah. So then when I multiply it by 2, I get 26x plus 12. And so it's beginning to look like C. We're just trying to give you every kind of problem you might encounter with polynomials. Okay, let's try one more here. Okay, in the equation above, I'm trying to get this smaller. A, B, C, and constants are constants. If the equation is true for values of x, what's the value of b? So I'm going to have you try to beat me to the answer. You're going to be solving for b, which is before the x. Pretty much can promise you one of these on test day. So everybody get 26? Logan, your audio is still on, right? Your audio's good? Give me a thumbs up if it's good. Okay, next group. Everybody good with 26? Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. Okay, now this one gets tricky. This is our hard page for Module 2 questions. So let's analyze this one. We're in the deeper water on this page. So if ax plus 3 times bx plus 6 is this value, we're trying to get c. Now we know that a plus b is 7. And you see this? A times b is going to have to give us 12, right? That makes sense, right? A times b will give us 12. So what two numbers added together make 7, multiplied make 12? Anybody want to give me an answer? Everybody's shy. Go ahead, Sailor.
4 and 3.
4 and 3. Thank you, sweetheart. So this looks like our answer, but it's a trap. Remember I said they like to put traps in answer choice A. So now we have to put this back in. So we would have 3x plus 3, and then we'll put the 4 in for b. And that will give us 12x squared plus 12x plus 18x plus 18. So that'll be a 30. Oops. Sorry, it's hard to write on this glass. I always say that, but it is hard. So it's beginning to look like maybe D. So then I have to try the other one. What if I make A 4? So that'll be 4x plus 3 times 3x plus 6. So that'll be 12x squared plus 9x plus 24x plus 18. So 9 and 24 give me the 33. So the two values of C would be 33 and 30. So do you see it, Sailor and Dominic and Jacob? That hard one? Oh, good. Okay, and then what about the other group? Logan, Silas, Julia, we're good? Awesome. So like I said, this is a hard page. So let's go to number 7, because we have to take you into deep water to get you the harder questions. So if we write this out, it says in the polynomial, P of x defined above, K is a constant. That just means it's a number. One of these 4. Could I put these answers in and see if it comes out? Sure. But let me write it out. So I'm going to distribute the 2. I'll have 2x squared. This is how your math teacher would do it, plus 12. Then distribute, I'll have minus 4x plus 4k. So now, if I look at this, do you see this? I want to know, have everything divisible by x. This is divisible by x. This is divisible by x. This is divisible by x. So the only thing that's remaining is 12 plus 4k. So if that can go to 0, then the whole thing is divisible by whatever x is. So I could subtract 12 from both sides. I would have 4k equals a negative 12. So k would be a negative 3. So that one is A. Does that sort of hard one make sense? Jacob, sort of? Any questions? What about the next group? These are the hard ones. Sailor, you're good? Sort of? Okay. Let's go to this one. For a polynomial P of x, so the P of 4 is negative 3. So that means that we're going to have x minus 4, and then the remainder would be a minus 3. Does that make sense, sort of, as you process that? Okay, and one last one for these b's. So if we distribute this, we will have 2x cubed minus x squared. Our job is to get a plus b plus m plus n. Well, guess what? They didn't give us an a and they didn't give us a b. They gave us a coefficient before the x squared. It would be a minus 1. And then before the x cubed would be a 2. And so minus 1 plus 2 would give us 1. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. So everybody good on this page? I'm in this part of the world, I'm sorry. Thank you. Oh, the thumb's already up. Silas is on the mark. Okay. Now, the thankfully thing, hallelujah, they took this crazy thing off the test. So aren't you happy? So we can just cross this all off. Even the horrible thing about finding the conjugate. Remember all that stuff. It's off the test. So we're going all the way to factoring. Okay, factoring is often at the end of the test. Factoring is where you take everything out. So for example, this, I can take out an A from both terms, bring it up front, and I will be left with a B plus C. So let's look at this hard one. Not really that hard, actually. So we have A, B, C plus A, B, B, C plus A, B, C, C all over A, B, C. So using a different color, I could take out an A from everything, a B from everything. I have two B's in there. I don't know why. Huh.
There are two B's.
In that one originally?
No, it's A squared B.
Oh, it is supposed to be
Yeah,
a
there were
B.
two B's there.
And then we're taking out a C. So then I can take out the A, B, C.
So you take a C out of everything, right?
Yeah, I take a C out of everything. And I'm left with, just keeping yourself logical, I'm left with, because I took the C out, an A plus a B, because I took one of these B's out, plus a C. And this cancels, and I get answer choice A. And we did it for you on the next page. Okay, does that make sense? This group. Jacob, does that make sense to you? Good, thanks, Julia. And next group, Dominic, I see Sailor's thumb. Good. Okay, so let's move on to this one. Okay, so if we have, you notice this packet is pretty hefty, so we're probably going to give you a break before the grammar lesson is not, we can get it done in an hour. But this is, I'll give you a drum roll now. This is our longest, hardest math lesson, okay? There's Jacob. But,
We're sorry.
we're sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but all's fair. We wanted you to have this lesson before you took your second practice test, is really the thing for us. So we have this one. We have 3xy plus 2 times 3. It's all on the test, so we have to cover it. So now we can take out a 3 and we can take out a y, bring them out front, and we're left with x plus 2y, which is answer choice A. So that makes sense to everybody, the factoring? Okay, so let's go to the next group. Logan, you're good? Good. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay, so if we have this, this would be AAB minus ABB. So what can I factor out? I can factor out an A and a B, bring it out front, and I'm left with an A minus B. Well, look what they gave me. AB is 8. A minus B is 2. 8 times 2 on this planet is 16. We're all good with that one? I see these scores soaring. Now, something they don't give you on the formula page is the difference of two squares. So it's something you have to spot. Remember, we're covering all the math you pretty much had in your whole life. So a squared minus b is going to be a plus b times a minus b. Remember, when you factor these, the outer and the inner drop out because they're inverses. So x squared minus 36 would be this. If we had x squared minus 49, that would just equal x plus 7, x minus 7. You're just taking the square root of both terms. So to do this, let's go to a book problem. Let's go to 233. And we're doing sample question number 2. No pain, no gain, as they say.
So I guess you could factor the 4 out.
Yeah. So first what they give us is this. They give us, I'm doing sample question 2 at the top. 16s to the 4th minus 4t squared. So I can factor out a 4. That'll give me 4s to the 4th minus t squared. And you can see all the answer choices have a 4 factored out first. So that sort of gives, well, not D, but that gives you a clue that that's what you want to do. Now, this is the difference of two squares, so we could take the square root of this one. And so that'll give us 4 times 2s squared minus t and 2s squared plus t. And that gives us answer choice C. So Silas, Julia, Jacob, are you good guys with this one? You've seen this before? Good. And Sailor, you're good with this? Dominic? Okay. All righty. So now let's go back to the packet. And so let's go to this first one. We just want to give you just enough practice that you can see the difference of two squares. So this one, x is going to be positive. We could say this is x minus 3 and x plus 3. And so they're setting them each to 0. X could be 3, or x could be a minus 3. But we want the positive answer, so we'd have to say 3. We could also say x squared, add 9 to both sides, but in that, we want the positive one, right? So we have to pick the positive value. Okay, this one's a little harder to see. I'm going to write it here so you can see the, thank you. So we have x a squared over x b squared, and that's going to equal x to the 10th. So we did exponents last week. Can you see we have all the same bases? So we're just taking this answer. Remember, if we have x to the 6th over x to the 4th, we subtract them. So we're just going to have a squared minus b squared is 10. That's the hard step to see.
Maybe leave that up for a second because that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part right there. Do you see that we're subtracting these
And
exponents?
she doesn't even need the x's anymore. She's
Yeah.
interested in the exponents.
So Dominic, that makes sense so far? Jacob, sort of? Oh, good.
That
Sailor,
makes sense now that you say it, although
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
tricky.
think I would have gotten there on my own.
Yeah,
okay, but
well, that's
now
why we're
you're,
doing a bunch of these.
that's
Yeah.
why we're doing a bunch of these, because we want you to do it on your own and test date. So Logan, you're good with this, sort of? Oh, good. Silas is good. Julia, okay. So now, and see, look, they gave us a little clue here because they gave us A plus B and A minus B in the answer choices. So that'll be A minus B. A plus B is 10. And so they tell us A minus B is 2. 2 times what number on this planet will be 10? It has to be 5. So I know the hardest part was seeing this part to subtract the exponents. But if we want, we want to expose you to this stuff. So if you see it on the test, you go, oh, that's my old friend, A squared minus B squared. Okay. All right, so let's look at this one. So first we're going to factor out a 9. Got to get rid of this because the 9's in both of these. So we'll have 9a squared minus b squared. And then this looks like the difference of two squares. So we're going to take the square root of this term and the square root of this term. So that'll be 9, 3a minus b, 3a plus b. And that's going to give us answer choice B. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. And then the last one on that hard page. So here, this is sort of set up like the difference of two squares, although we have a fraction. So we're going to take the square root of this term and the square root of this term. So that'll give us 4x, and the square root of 4/9 would be the square root of 4. That's totally legal to do that math-wise. So that'll be 4x minus 2/3. and 4x plus 2/3. And so that would be answer choice C. So good with that one? And Logan, your audio has not kicked out, has it? Your audio's good? Okay. All right. So we sort of conquer a difference of two squares. Now this might be the tricky one. But we're going to give you some strategies. This they had off the test and now they put it on. So if you have this expression and you're trying to see what answer choice would work, you could pick a number if you got totally frustrated. But what they want you to do is divide it here. And so we have x minus 4x. So we could take out two x's, an x squared rather. That'll give us x squared x minus 4. And then in the second part, we can take out a 2. So we'll have plus 2x minus 4. And now,
So you're trying to make the same thing twice, right? The
Yeah.
x minus 4.
yeah, we want to get the same thing to factor out twice.
Because
but we-
now she can factor that out of everything.
Now I can factor this x minus 4 out of everything. And that will give me x squared plus 2.
With your parentheses, yeah. Right.
Right. And so that looks a lot like answer choice D. Does that make sense? I mean, this is going to be.
Maybe see if they've all done grouping.
Have you done grouping problems before? This
This
kind?
bell.
Julia has. Jacob sort of has. Silas, have you done these before? Logan? Okay, she's done them before. Dominic, have you done these before? Sailor?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay. What did I lose? I don't think anybody did.
No, I think we're good.
We're all good here.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try this one. So I'm going to do this two ways. So first, I'm just going to pick a number because remember, this is a strategy you can use on the SAT because they don't need to show your work. So we'll just say X is 2, Y is 3. I'll do the math way too, but if we try the pick the number way, we will have 6 minus 2 times 2 minus 3 times 3 plus 2 times 3. That'll give us 6 minus 4 minus 9 plus 6. So that's 12 minus 13, which gives us a -1. That's a negative sign, sorry. So we want an answer that's going to kick out a -1 when X is 2 and Y is 3. So if I try A, I'm going to get 5 times 5, which doesn't work. If I try B, I'll get 1 times a -1. I'll get 3 minus 2, which is 1. And 2 minus 3, which is a -1. So that works.
Yeah, 1 times -1, right?
So that's our answer, right?
So this would never fly in a math class, but on the SAT it doesn't matter. They don't look at your work. You just have to get the right answer.
So you're just getting the answer. You don't have to show any work.
But she'll do it the math teacher way too.
So this would be 3 minus 2, which is 1 times 3. That doesn't work. 3 plus 2 is 5. That's a negative. That doesn't work. So picking numbers. Now let's try how a math teacher would do it. And here's where I show you where it gets a little tricky. Because I'm going to divide it here. So this part isn't too bad. I can factor out a 2, and I'll have 3 minus x, right?
And for the next one, she could factor out a -y
I have to factor out a -y,
to make the 3 minus x.
yeah, to get the 3 minus x. That's the tricky part.
Right. So now she has the same thing twice, the 3 minus x's.
So I have the
So
3,
she could factor that out of everything.
3 minus x, 2 minus y. And
And you still get the same answer.
and I still get the same answer. But you have the
Yeah,
fallback
who,
of,
who likes to pick the number way? Who likes the math teacher way? I'm curious.
okay, who likes to pick the number way for this problem? Nobody. Oh,
Nobody.
Jacob does.
Jacob likes it. It's not cheating. It feels like cheating, but
Who likes to pick the number here? Nobody.
math
When,
teacher.
when Sailor's a
They all
math
want to be
teacher.
math teachers.
Yeah,
That's why.
Sailor should be a math teacher. I
Yeah.
told her that last week. Okay, so let's try a book problem.
Okay.
So
It's too sinister for them. They all want to do it the right way.
they all want to do it the right way, the moral code.
Yeah, that's right.
841, number 21. But it's okay on the
I
test.
know it's not cheating. It's weird to say just pick a number. Because you'd never get credit for that on a math test with a real math teacher. But
We are real math teachers.
I mean, like it's one of their school classes.
Yeah. So we're going to 841, number 21. Now, I think this is a hard one. So stay with me on this. So the problem says, I want you to have your epiphany while we're doing this. It's 90y to the fifth minus 54y to the fourth. And out of that, we're going to get an r we don't know, a y to the fourth, and then a 15y minus 9. So our job is to find r. So basically, 15 times what number would, that's a question mark. Oh, that's sad. 15 times what number would give us 90,
Or
or 9 times what number would give us 54? Do you see in both cases it would be 6?
so R is 6.
So if I put a 6 in for r, then when I go back, and see, they don't give you the number, you have to figure it. Then when I go back and distribute, I will get 90y to the fifth minus 54y to the fourth.
I think the hardest part about this question is just this random R out there. You're like,
Yeah.
what is R?
What
Yeah,
is
but
it? Yeah.
it's not that bad if you.
It's not that bad if you've done it before.
It's just how
Sailor,
they
do you
phrase
see
I
it?
think.
Sailor sees it. Dominic, or sort of, or you really see it? Good, he really sees it. Jacob really sees it? Good. Julia, you really see it? Yes or not really? Silas, do you really see it? Logan, or not really? Okay, she sees it. Okay, great. Great. Okay, that was a good one to try. Okay, so let's go on to the next page in the packet. Okay. So we're going to try number 2. So we sort of know we're going to divide it here. And like I said, they didn't have grouping on, like if you have older siblings, they didn't have to do this, but you do. But again, you don't have to do the polynomial long division. So here, do you see I could take, if I have x minus 2 times 3x.
You're just gonna take out an X squared.
I'm taking out an x squared, yeah. And that's going to leave me with an x minus 6. And then I can sort of see that I can take out a 2 and get an x minus 6.
So she wants to make that X minus 6 twice, because now she could factor out all of the X minus 6s. And
Yeah.
that's the grouping.
That's the grouping method. So now I can take out an x minus 6 times the quantity x squared plus 2. And if x minus 6 is 0, then x could be a 6.
So that's the real answer. And then the other one would be in terms of I.
Yeah, the other one is going to be imaginary numbers, because we'll subtract the 2 and we'll get the square root of 2i.
Plus or minus.
Yeah. But we don't need to know that for the test, just 6.
Yeah, they wanted the real one.
Okay. So that when they say the real one, they mean no i's. If you've had those yet.
I bet they all have.
Okay, now let's try this one. Whoops.
Maybe I'll just zoom it out a little bit.
Okay. I know it's our hardest math class, but you're in your warm house. You can go get a snack. Okay, so let's pick a number for this one first. Then we'll try
They
the
don't like your pick a number. They're too goody two shoes.
they're too moral, yeah.
They're too moral.
Okay, wait, let's say x is 1. So if x is 1, we're going to get 3 minus 4. That's a negative. Oh, I hate this screen.
It's hard to write. It's really hard to write on the screen.
And then that'll be 3 minus 4. And so basically we'll get negative 1 squared, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2. So which answer, when I put in x is 1, is going to kick out a 2? So it's not going to be A. 3 minus 4 is a negative 1. This is not going to work. Let's try this one. That'll be 9 minus 12, which is a negative 3, plus 4. That's not 2. Let's try D. 3 minus 5 is a negative 2. We put a 1 in here, and I'm going to get a negative 1. So on this planet, a negative 2 times a negative 1 is 2, and we have a winner. Does that make sense with picking a
So
number?
it's D.
So it's D. Sorry.
But we'll do it the math teacher way because they don't like the pick a number.
I know this group does not like the pick.
Well, it's probably because the teacher would never give them credit for it. They're used to having to do it the right
Yeah,
way.
you can pick a number. We
Yeah.
give you dispensation.
Exactly. They've been trained to not pick numbers
Okay.
all these years.
Okay, so let's do the math teacher way. We would have 3x minus 4 and 3x minus 4 minus a 3x minus 4. So now I'm going to try to make this visible to you guys.
So you can factor the 3x minus 4 out of
So
everything.
I'm taking the negative 3x minus 4. That'll give me 3x minus 4 plus 3x minus 4 minus 1 to hold the place. That's 3x minus 5. So if you want to do it the math teacher way, you get the same answer. Okay, let's take a breath and see how many people have digested this. Oh, Logan, are you good, sweetheart? Silas? Jacob's good. Julia, you good, honey? I'm so glad this is a break group. And Sailor, Dominic, and okay, we had Jacob. Okay, we conquered factoring by grouping. Yay. Okay, take a breath. Now we're doing dividing polynomials, rational expressions, because this is on the test too. So let's look at the first one, which is pretty easy. I think you might have had these on the keystones. So in the denominator, we have an x minus 6. Up here, we can factor out a 2x, and we would have an x minus 6. Then x minus 6 would cancel, and we would be left with 2x. Where am I here? Yeah. And we did the problem down here for you too. Okay, let's look at this one. Now, sometimes this gives you a clue because they have to say this, because if you put in a 2 or a 7, you'll get out a 0 and it'll be undefined
For the denominator.
for the
So
denominator.
they're basically telling you how it factors.
Yes.
Which is crazy. They don't want to, but they are.
See, I understand why we're doing GPT together. You know how when they do football games, I was thinking this today.
Oh, the
They
commentary?
have 2 commentators.
That's right.
That's why somehow there's better with 2. So you get I don't know.
But it's like a cheat code or something because they're just telling you how to do it.
Yeah. So this denominator will be x minus 7 and x minus 2. Then I know the numerator, what two numbers will multiply, give me 28,
Negative 28.
negative 28, sorry, 7 and 4. So I'll have an x minus 7 and an x plus 4. These will cancel, and I'll be left with answer choice A. Okay, that one makes sense. Good. And over here, we're good. Logan, good. Silas, good. Okay. Now let's try this one. Well, this looks like an old friend. This looks like the difference of two squares. So the denominator would be an x minus 3 and an x plus 3. Crazy, we're trying to review all your math in a few easy lessons. So this numerator will be x minus 3 and an x minus 3. These will cancel and we'll be left with answer choice A. Okay. So now I want to see if anybody's a student of, so we've only been out at this an hour. We are going to give you a break around 7 o'clock because this is, otherwise I'd be torturing you. Okay. So you can hear me, Logan, fine, right? You're good. Does anybody see, kudos to you if you see this, it's not a granola bar, it's praises, what number I could put in this denominator that would trigger the whole thing to 0? What number could I put in this denominator that would trigger the whole thing to 0?
The whole denominator.
The whole denominator would go to 0. Can anybody see that what number goes in there? Let me ask this crowd. Can you see, Sailor? No? It would be a 3, because look, if I put in a 3, then this would go to 0, and that would go to 0. The whole thing would go to 0. Does that make sense now? Okay, good. Just wanted to cover one like that. Okay, on the next page. Okay. We're going to try picking numbers first. Let's
They're
just
too
say
moral for your picking number.
they're too moral for me, but let's say x is 1. Then I'll get minus, well, on your practice test on this weekend.
You can always just use that to check your answer.
You could use it to check,
If you want to do it the right way.
Minus 1 minus 6 plus 27. So if we pick x as 1, we're going to get 20 in the numerator, and 3 minus 1 on this planet is 2. That's 10. Which answer does anybody see? I could put a 1 in for x, and it would kick out a 10. Does anybody see which answer?
That might be faster than doing it the math teacher way, actually.
Can anybody see
You
what
did
the
that
answer
pretty
would
quickly.
be? Let me go to the next group. Can anybody see what the answer is? Everybody's too shy.
It's not cheating. It feels like cheating, though. Pick
What
a
would
number.
work, Jacob? What answer choice? Anybody?
It's putting in 1 for
We want to
X.
put 1 in for x and get out a 10. Help me, somebody.
I'm kind of dumb. Yeah, it's D.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, we'll do it the right way, too.
Good job, Jacob.
I don't know why that
You
took
did
me
that
so long.
quickly,
I
though.
was
I
hung
think
up
that
on
might
A.
be
I was like,
faster.
wait a minute.
Yeah, that might
Yeah.
be faster.
Okay,
We'll do
let's
it the proper way.
now let's do it the math teacher way. Okay, so if I
Oh,
did,
so she can multiply the whole thing by -1 over -1 because that's just the number 1.
right,
So that's perfectly legal. So every sign is going to change.
this is our sports commentating.
Right.
I figured out why they have 2 people on it doing a football game. So this will be x squared plus 6x minus 27. Otherwise, I had this negative
Over X minus 3, right?
Yeah, and this will be x minus 3, because when I multiply by this by -1, I'll get minus 3 plus x, which is really x minus 3. Then that'll be x plus 9, x minus 3 over x minus 3. The x minus 3's cancel. And I have a winner in answer choice D either way. Sailor's nodding yes. Dominic, you good? And Jacob. Good. And the other group, Logan, you're good, honey. Silas is good, and Julia, good. Good. Okay. So now
Common denominators.
the piece de resistance. This is the hard one. Okay. But we're going to do one in the book just like this. So, okay, let's look at one like this, because there would be something like this on the test. To just start, can I add a half and a third?
That's not related to this problem, right?
Not related to this problem. Thank you.
Well, you can, but you need a common.
Thank you, commentator.
Yeah, she can add those, but she needs a common.
Denominator.
That's right.
So I need a common denominator of 6, right? So I have to multiply this by 3 and this by 3, this by 2 and this by 2. That'll give me 3, 6 plus 2, 6. And so now I can combine them. Okay. So why I'm doing that is to get you ready for this next step. Okay. So we're going to multiply the top and the bottom, because our common denominator is going to be x plus 3, x plus 4. So I'm going to multiply this guy by x plus 4, this by x plus 4.
Maybe you want to rewrite it all, because I think it's going to get a little messy.
Messy.
Yeah.
So we have x plus 4 on the top. Bottom here, we have x plus 4. I'm trying to do the best job I can.
Okay. And same thing for that one, but
This will be
with
x plus 3
over x plus 3.
Okay, now
So now she has a common denominator.
I have a common denominator, and I can factor this. And I will get x squared plus 7x plus 12. In the numerator, I'm going to get x plus 4 plus x plus 3, which is 2x plus 7. So basically, right now, I'm going to get 2x plus 7 over x squared plus 7x plus 12.
But there's a 1 up there.
The whole thing is under a 1.
And if you forget about that 1, you're going to fall for their trap, because when you divide by a fraction, you have to flip it and multiply.
Right. So if we divide 1/2 by 1/3, I have to flip the second number, remember, from math class. So,
I'm just going to get you some room, or
Yeah.
maybe erase that so you can. She
okay.
just has to do the last step and flip everything.
So I have to flip everything. And that'll give me, basically, it's going to give me D. Because what I had was 1 over 2x plus 7 over x squared plus 7x plus 12. And so I'm going to have to flip that.
And if you forget, you might pick C.
Yeah. Okay,
Maybe
so
make sure that they're all okay with this one, because
Yeah.
this one's a little tricky.
we're going to do one in the book in a second. How many are good with this, of this group? Logan, are you good? Silas, Julia, Jacob, you're good? Okay, good. So there's Sailor with her ready thumb. And Dominic, you okay? Do you have a question? No, he's good. Okay, so we're going to go try a book when we're ready for the book. So we're going to go to 1078, and we're going to try number 18. So if this wasn't on the test, we wouldn't torment you with it, obviously. And like I said, we often see the scores go up on the second test, partially because we did this painful lesson. Okay. And we're in the higher difficulty module 2. Do you see that? So I'm pushing you into the deep water. So basically we have y plus 12 plus y times x minus 8. And they're both, this is over x minus 8. Well, let's factor this guy out. So we can factor out if we have,
Yeah, an X and a Y.
yeah, I'm just going to do it down here. If we have x, this make it easier to see. Xxy minus 2 times 4xy. So we can take out an x, and so that'll give us,
And a Y, right?
and a y, yes, sorry. So we can factor out an xy times x minus 8. Okay, so now,
So she needs to get the same denominator for the other term.
yeah, I have to get the same denominator over here, so I have to do I have to put an xy out here. Do you see that? So it
And
matches.
in the numerator,
I
right?
know.
So that's the same as multiplying by the number 1.
Yes,
She didn't change it at all.
I didn't change it. I just multiplied by a 1.
Any number over itself is 1. So it's legal to do that.
And like I said, we're in the deeper water, but if you get one of these, I want you to solve it. So now I know my denominator is going to be xy times x minus 8, which when I distribute it, whoops, is going to give me x squared y minus 8xy. And then in the top, okay, so I'm going to have, this will be xy squared plus 12xy plus xy minus 8y, right?
Yeah.
And so 12xy and 1xy is 13xy. And so it's very much beginning to look like answer choice C. So take a minute and digest that. So on the test, you could maybe do it. I don't know if you've ever seen any ones like this in math class. Sailor, I bet you see it, right? You see it? Dominic, are you okay? Jacob, no questions. Logan, are you good with this? Silas and Julia. Good. Okay, so you could handle that hard one. I can't wait to see your scores. Okay, then we're going back to the packet. I promise you a break at 7 because we're going to need it. So rational equations is sort of the same thing. It's just going to be equal to a value.
Let me just
Yeah.
zoom in out a little bit.
So if we have this, okay. So you can look at the example and sort of see what we did there. And x would be 7 or x would be 5. So let's jump to number 1. Okay. Hallelujah. The denominators are the same, right? So all we have to do is combine the top 4x plus 3, but there's a deceptive negative there. We have to be careful about that. So we have x minus 2, multiply both sides by x minus 2.
You can combine the like terms, right?
Yeah, we can combine like terms. So that'll give us 4x plus 3 minus 2x plus 3 equals 3x minus 6, right? I do that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I do all my like terms first typically.
Yeah. So 4x minus 2x, that's going to be 2x plus 6 equals 3x minus 6. Subtract the 2x, add the 6. Coming out of the oven, voila, x is 12. I have to shrink this. Okay, how many sort of see this? Good, Julia, Jacob, Silas, Logan. You're good, honey? Good. Okay, let me go to the other group. I have Dominic and Sailor in the wings. So you're good, Dominic and Sailor, with that one? I know I'm pushing you a bit. Okay. Break at 7, so just stay with me. Don't fall off the merry-go-round. So this one,
Common denominator, right?
we need a common denominator because we can't add a minus 1 and a plus 1. But we could multiply this by a plus 1 and the top by a plus 1. Here, this would be a minus 1 and a minus 1. So that would give us a plus 1 over a squared minus 1 plus 4 a minus 11 over a squared minus 1.
Minus 1.
Minus 1, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So she just made all the denominators into the difference of two squares. However you want to write it. If you want to write it factored or like that.
Okay,
And
so
once she does that, she can multiply all the numerators by the difference of two squares.
Yes.
And it'll all go
so
away.
I can multiply everything by a squared minus 1 and they'll all cancel out. Then on the top, I'm going to get a plus 1 plus 4a minus 4 is 7. That's going to give me 5a minus 3 is 7. 5a equals 10. So a equals 2. And so if I had time in the test, I could put a 2 back in and see that it worked. Okay, Dominic, okay with this? Sailor, good. Jacob, good. Good. Julia, I'm so glad. Logan, you're good, sweetheart. Good. Okay, quadratic equations. Why I have you all here? How many have the quadratic formula memorized on this group? Jacob, Julia has, Silas, and Logan.
Do they give it to you on the formula page?
No, they don't give it to you. Dominic, you have it memorized. Sailor.
So
I
there'll
lost
probably be one of
Sailor's
these on the
picture.
test, you think?
Yeah, you'll get at least probably one of these.
And maybe a discriminant too.
Yeah. So Sailor, you've seen the quadratic formula before, right? And it's probably in your mind, right? If it's not, if you don't have it memorized, they give you scratch paper before the test. So you could sit down, write the quadratic formula down as the proctor says go. If you have trouble memorizing it. So let's look at the next page, which is a teaching page. So this is a standard form for quadratics. So at the end of the night, you can give your parents this packet and say, look, I did 20, how many pages are it?
Too many.
Too many pages. I need a pizza or something. Okay. So anyway, this is the standard form. This is A, B, and C. This is the intercept form. And this is the vertex form, which they don't give you on the test. HK is the vertex, which, like Silas said, you could always just put it in a Desmos and see what it is.
Yeah, so if you click on the vertex, it'll tell you what it is at
Yeah.
X and Y.
So if they ask,
Desmos is totally a reasonable way to solve
Yeah.
things.
so basically I taught middle school, so if it's an upwards parabola, sorry. So if it's an upwards parabola, it's a happy day. So y equals x squared, right? And so you would have a minimum point as the vertex. If it's raining outside, you need an umbrella, so it'll be y in the rainbow, obviously, is negative x squared. And so this would be your max. So you have a max with a downward parabola and a minimum with an upwards parabola.
And if you click on it in Desmos, it'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Or,
Or you could use this. So,
oh, do they give you this formula on the formula page?
no, they don't give you this. But the way to get the vertex is going to be x equals negative b over 2a. So let's go to a book problem. I'm watching the time, so you get a break at 7, because I don't want any of you to drop dead on me. Okay, we're going to go to page 1066, number 14. This is our hardest packet. Okay, not so bad. We have y equals x squared minus 14x plus 22. And so it's going to be an upwards parabola. They're asking me to give the minimum. So I could put it in Desmos and get the vertex. Or I could just say, wow, minus b over 2a. Minus a minus 14 plus 14 over 2, 7. It's actually quicker to use this as far as time goes. Does that make sense? But of course you could go to Desmos and put in and get the minimum. Good here, Silas and Julia. And Logan, you're good? Okay. All right. Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, solving quadratics. Here's the several methods. You can use Desmos, obviously. We can't believe you. You could factor it.
They don't always factor though,
They
right?
don't always factor. You could use the square root of both sides. Complete the square. We're going to do that next week when we do circles. So next week and the week after, we're going to cover all the geometry. And so now the quadratic formula, the big gun,
So it always works.
which
It'll always give you the two solutions, even if they're not real, if they're just in terms of I.
so the big gun always works. Okay, so let's go.
It's not always the fastest way, but it always works. A lot of times they'll factor, right? You know.
Yeah, but you will get one where you have to crack it with the quadratic formula. So let's go. So here's our basic. We're going to cover this in a
I
second.
think it's so mean that they give you a formula page, but they don't put this on there. It's like,
Yeah. So let's look at this one. Pretty easy. We'll go through the example, then we'll try a couple more and have you try a couple. So x squared, so first we have to put it, so we have x squared minus x, because we have to bring everything over.
oh, are you going to do this first and then talk about
Yeah, I'll
that?
talk about
Okay.
it later,
Okay.
yeah. So a is 1, obviously, b is a negative 1, and c is a negative 5. So we're going to bring out our big gun, negative b, which is being plus 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 1 minus 4 times a times c, which is a minus 5, all over 2a, which is 2. So now we have a plus 1 plus or minus the square root of. This will be 1, 4 times the -5.
-4 times -5.
Yeah, which is 20,
Yeah,
right?
1 plus 1.
1 minus 20 is
1 plus 1.
1 plus 20,
Yeah.
all over 2. And then you can see we did it here for you. And so the answer choice would be D. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah, and another thing, just looking at the answer choices, if you ever see all of the answer choices in terms of square roots, you know immediately you have to use the quadratic
That
formula.
would be a red flag. You're going to need the quadratic formula if you see
Yeah, all those
square roots, you know? And they'll probably put 1 on the test. Okay, so let's try one and then we'll try one in the book. So let's go to number 1 first. Okay, so A is 3, B is 12, C is 6. So we need minus B plus or minus the square root of 144 minus 4 times 3 times 6, which is what, 72?
Yeah.
All over 2A, which is going to be 6. So then we have to do minus 12 over 6. That's going to give us a -2. So we know C and D are out, plus or minus. Now here we have the square root. This will be the square root of 72 over 6. So 72 is going to be,
You do your marriages thing?
we could do our marriages thing, but I can't move it this way, right? Can I?
Yeah.
Well, let's,
Oh, you know, I can move them
okay,
temporarily.
we're moving you guys. Goodbye. No, you're just moving over there.
Okay.
Okay. So we now have -2 plus or minus. Okay, we don't know what the square root of 72 is, but we know it's 8 times 9. So here comes the bride. We take out a 2. This is why we learned this last week. And we take out a 3, so that'll be 6 square root of 2 all over 6. So our answer will be -2. Can we bring them back over?
Yeah.
So the answer will be A. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, let's try some book problems to see if you're up for it. So
And you could, I guess you could see that there was a perfect square in there, 36 times 2.
yeah, maybe you
Take
could
your,
see,
you know.
but if you got like, who knows what number they're going to give you. So let's go to a book problem and see if we're really ready. Okay. So we're going to try 613, number 9. And see, because it has the square roots in it,
In the answer choice.
in the answer choices, that sort of means we're probably going to have to bring out the big quadratic formula. So our problem is W squared plus 12W. We're in the higher difficulty, obviously, minus 40 equals 0. So we can sort of see we're going to need to bring out our big gun. So we need -B and you can see if you beat me to the answer. So our A is 1, our B is 12, and our C is -40. So that'll be -12, 144, 4AC is going to be what, 304?
Yeah, the whole thing will end up being 304.
Okay, so
It's 144 minus 4 times 1 times -40. Are you asking me what -4 times -40?
No, I know that's 160.
Yeah.
Two A
Yeah,
is
it
2.
is 30. I got 304.
So we're going to get minus 12 plus or minus the square root of 304
Oh, this one, yeah.
over 2.
So the factors of 304 are 19 and 16, which would be hard to remember.
So what you could do here, do you see when we start this, we get negative 12 over 2, which is a negative 6. And somebody in
Yeah,
somebody in Sunday's class said the only one with a negative 6 is D.
and they were right. It is
So I'm
D.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
if we had this difficulty of 304,
so that's just 19 times 16.
yeah,
16 is a perfect square.
yeah. So this will give us negative 6 plus or minus. This 304 is
16 times 19.
16 times 19.
Square root of 16 is
We
4.
take out that, and we're going to get a 4 square root of 19
Right,
over 2.
right.
So that'll give us minus 6 plus or minus 2 square roots of 19, which is answer choice D. Now, this is higher difficulty. This is for people, really wanting high scores. Sailor, are you okay with this? Thumbs up. Dominic, are you good? Jacob, any questions? No? Silas, you good? Wow, Julia. Okay, I see a thumbs up. And Logan, are you good with this? Hard one? Awesome job. Let's try one more, guys. So I want to go to page 721. And we're going to try number 20. So that's a high number. So if we get there first,
Yeah, see if you can beat Mrs. Hessler to the answer. It's just another quadratic
it's
equation.
a quadratic. And you can see it is because they have the square root of k. See if you can beat me to the answer.
It's gonna be 120. Oh, did I just give it
Yeah,
away?
yeah, you just gave it away.
Sorry.
It's gonna be 56.
Yeah, 64 and 56.
Julia, did you get 120? Good. Sailor, did you get 120? Dominic, 120. Jacob, did you get 120? No, no.
Oh no.
Okay,
Well, she'll go through it. She's gonna go through it.
I'll go through it and let me see on the other side of the world.
Yes, I do realize I just did math wrong. So I
Oh,
see why it
Happens, yeah, it
was.
happens.
so Logan, are you okay with this hard one, honey? Okay, so what we do is you can see all they want is what's under the radical. So we have a minus b, which is plus 8, plus or minus the square root of 64. And this adds up, multiplies 56. That gives us our 120. And that's all we need because all they're asking for uh is K, but this is at the end of a section. Okay. Um, let's see. Now the next thing,
Oh yeah, so do you want to do the discriminant first, or do you want to do that sum of the solutions thing?
um, maybe,
You have like this part,
yeah, I
or you
know,
could do that. It doesn't matter what you want to do for.
yeah. Okay. How about if we take a break? Okay, because we've been at this for an hour
Just
and a
5
half.
minutes, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
we got a
We got lots to do, guys, still. I'm sorry. Like I said,
5 minute break. It's 6:57,
so come back at 7:02.
7:02.
Okay, so take a break and clear your mind because we've still got more to go. Can I have a coffee?
Sure.
Jacob has a hamburger
I
cheeseburger.
know. I like his thing.
I'll do the sum of solutions first and then we'll go back and do this.
Okay. Cool.
So I have all the lessons for the
Mhm.
weekend
Yeah, as soon as we're done, I'll clean that toner
when
out.
you're recording it. When
Yeah,
you're
that's. I hope I don't get it on myself.
Silas is back. Yay. So your packets actually did come in the mail after the snowstorm. Yeah, it was just late. Yeah. We'll wait for everybody else. We have 1 minute left.
I'm excited to see how these test twos go.
Yeah.
Test 5, whatever it is.
Yeah, I am too. 7 don't do, they're not bad, but it's all right.
Yeah, let us know if you're back.
Yeah, let us know if you're back so we can know how to proceed. Sailor's back. Jacob's back. We like your cheeseburger, by the way. It's a fun touch.
Oh, thank you. It's my 10-year-old brother.
Oh,
Courtesy of him.
oh, good. So let's see if we have Julia back. We need Logan and Dominic. So we'll wait a second. Because that was a pretty, and Dominic's back, and we're just waiting for Logan. Okay, Logan's back. Okay, guys, so we're gonna go in the polynomial packet to page 19. This question. And so thanks to Jimmy, actually,
Maybe just erase
yeah.
that.
We have a very good strategy for this. If they ask you for the sum of all the solutions, I'm going to let Jimmy comment on this. It's only minus B over A,
Yeah, that's the sum of the solutions.
not Sam.
Sum.
Yeah.
And
So we want to explain that?
yeah, so the way I like to remember this is that negative B over 2A, that's where the vertex is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that is literally, since parabolas are symmetrical, that is literally the average of the two solutions. And that 2 in the denominator, that is the averaging happening.
So we take that out and we get the sum.
Exactly. So
you don't have to.
like say we had a parabola that goes through 4 and 6, the vertex would be at 5
Yeah.
because it's just 4 plus 6 over 2. If we wanted the sum would be 10,
Right.
which is negative B over A.
So this is, if you know this, all you have to do here is do negative B over A, and 12 over 6 is 2. And you didn't have to find each of the solutions.
And then add them together. That would be a waste of time, you know?
Yeah, you'd have to, if you went all the way into the quadratic formula, got one solution, the other solution, then you'd have to
You could
add.
do it, but it would take a while, you know?
Does that make sense?
Basically, because the plus or minus square roots cancel each other when you add them.
Yeah.
So that's why that kind of works.
Okay, so we're going to do a couple in the book. Let me see how the other part of the world is doing.
Yeah, but you just have to know that formula because they don't give it to
So
you.
Sailor, are you good with that? That this is our magic formula. Okay, so let's go to a book one. So we're going to go first to 845. We're going to try number 11. And we're in a higher difficulty world here. So I'll copy that. Is it x plus 1 plus what?
It's a minus.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So obviously we have to put it into standard form. That's all I'm doing here. So I'm going to subtract an x squared.
It's going to be 29. 29x.
Yeah,
Negative.
plus 56, right?
Right.
So here's our
It's equal
standard.
to 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's our standard form. So the reason this one was hard is we had to do this without making any math errors. Okay, so now we know our numbers. So A is 3. We're getting the sum of solutions, but we don't have to go through all the following each one. B is going to be a negative 29, and C is going to be 56. So all we need is minus B over A. So that'll be a minus 29 over 3. And voila, we get 29/3. Thank you, College Board, for 10 points. And I didn't have to go down that trail of finding each solution. Do you see how beautiful that is? You just have to remember minus b over a is the sum. So everybody good with that in this world? I'm going to move him back over.
Yeah.
Oh, hooray. Oh, Silas, awesome. Dominic, you see this? Okay, good. Okay, so now let's try one more in the book before we leave this. We're going to go to 245, number 11. Remember, all we need is minus b over a, right?
Right. 245, that number might be wrong.
235,
Oh, okay.
number 7. What am I smoking? Nothing, but sorry. I just want to do 2 of these because it's such a good trick. And they won't tell you this. Okay, so our problem is 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 equals x plus 2, x plus 2. That gives us 4x squared minus 4x plus 1, x squared plus 4x plus 4, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we subtract an x squared. That'll give us 3x squared, subtract a 4x, minus 8x minus 3. Okay, so now all we need, now we're home free. We only need minus b over a. So while everybody, all your classmates are scrambling to get the 2 solutions, you can just whip out minus b over a and get a problem that would probably take them a couple minutes. So we're good with this one? Good, Sailor. And good with this one, guys? Awesome. Now we have another thing we have to go over that's on the test. If it wasn't on the test, we wouldn't torture you with it, I promise.
So we're going back.
We're going
back
back
up a little bit.
back up a little bit to this part on page 18
The discriminant.
called the discriminant. And you
So
will get one of these problems.
it's just part of the quadratic equation,
Yeah.
but they often ask us questions about it. It tells you how many and what type of solution you will get
Okay.
to the quadratic.
So let's look
There are
at this.
three things that could happen, right?
So when b squared minus 4ac is negative, the parabolas are going to be, like Jim calls them, floating. They're not going to touch.
They don't touch the x-axis.
So there's no solution.
No real
No real
solution.
solutions.
2 unreal solutions.
But when it's 0, it's going to touch at one point. And when it's positive,
It's going to go right through.
it's going to have 2 solutions. So this is something you sort of just have to memorize.
And it makes sense because if it's negative, then your answer is going to be in terms of I. If it's 0, that whole square root's going to go away. You'll get one solution. Because plus or minus 0 is just, one solution. And if it's positive, 2 real solutions.
Okay, so let's try some book problems because this is going to be a real thing on the test. So our first book problem, and again, I apologize for this lesson ahead of time. The grammar's coming, but it's not so bad.
It discriminates the kind of answer you should
Yeah,
get.
so let's go to 846. We're doing number 14. No pain, no gain, I guess.
And they never say hint, use the discriminant. You just kind of have to know the formula.
They're asking for how many solutions you know to
Yeah.
whip out the tool. So we're going to 846. And we're doing number, what did I say?
14.
14. So our problem is negative 9x squared. Just read it off to me.
Mhm.
Plus
Plus,
third.
plus 30x plus c equals 0.
Okay. And it says there's one solution. So we know this has to be bigger than 0.
No, you're
No,
not changing
equal,
that. You're not
equal.
changing that.
Yeah,
You're writing a new equation with b squared minus
I know,
4ac.
so we know b squared minus 4ac has to be equal to 0 for one solution.
Right.
Because the parabola is only going to go through, oops, it's only going to touch at one point. Sorry, like there. Okay, well, let's put in the numbers. This is a higher difficulty one, everybody notice that? We're in module 2, number 14. So our A is be a negative 9. Our B is going to be 30, and C is what we have to try to get. Okay. So we could put this in Desmos and try all the answer choices, but that might be a little too much. So B squared, 30 times 30 is going to be 90.
900.
900, sorry. Minus 4 times a negative 9 times C, and we want the whole thing to be 0. So 900 plus 36C is 0. We subtract the 900 from both sides, we'll get 36C equals minus 900. And so C will be a negative 25, which is C. That's faster than putting all those answers into Desmos and seeing which one touches the line only once. Okay, Dominic, does that make sense to you? Good. Simon? Silas.
Simon,
Sorry.
sorry about that.
Silas, does that make sense to you? Good. Julia and Logan. Wait, I didn't
She
get
nodded. I saw her nod. Sorry, we're just looking at
Taylor,
everybody.
you're good, and Jacob, you're good. Okay. Logan, did you say yes? You got this? Okay. And you haven't lost your audio? No. Okay, good. Okay, let's try one more because this is something you're going to get.
Every test has one of these.
Every test has one of these. Whoa, what was that?
She says she has to leave.
Oh, you have to leave for a meeting soon? Right now? Okay. Okay, this will be saved on YouTube, okay? You can watch it on YouTube on Friday. Okay, so we're going to try 368, number 21. I know who's missing, Kate Gaetano.
Uh,
Okay, we're at the end of a module too, so here we go. We have 5x squared plus 10x. See if you can beat me to the answer. We're in an end zone problem. We want to know how many solutions. So we're going to bring out our b squared minus 4ac. B will be 100 minus 4 times 5 times 16.
it's not equal to 0.
It's going to be, we're trying to see
Yeah,
what
it's
happens.
not equal to
We
0.
don't know what
Can
happens.
you pick that up?
Yes, sir. So we'll have 100 minus 320
Yeah, I think so.
or yeah, minus 320. So we're going to get a negative 220. Wait, let me write this out neater. And we know if it's negative, there's 0 solutions, right? So it's going to be D because the parabolas are going to be floating. They're never going to touch. So, Sailor, does that make sense to you? Good. Jacob, that's more points. Dominic's good. Julia. And on this side, we have the same people. Okay. All right. So that conquered that. And we're almost done with this crazy packet. So let's go back to the packet. So we covered all that. We covered all that.
You could skip that one.
Yeah, we're going to skip this one because we did so much. Well, let's try this one. In the equation above, K is a constant. Which of the following inequalities represents all values of K? For we want two distinct real solutions. So let's put it all into the standard form. So we want b squared minus 4ac to be bigger than 0, right? For two solutions, because we want it to cross at 2 points. So let's put in, we know our b is 4. So 4 squared will be 16 minus 4. A, we don't know. C is a 3. These are all multiplied. Whoops. So that's going to give us 16 minus 12K, right? Is greater than 0. We'll add 12K to both sides, so we don't have to flip anything. So that's going to give us 16 is going to be greater than 12K. Divide by 12. K has to be less than 4/3, which is answer choice C. So does that make sense for everybody? Good job. Okay, Dominic, you're good. Julia, you're good over there. Thanks, honey. Okay, now, sometimes you don't need the big gun. Like Jim said before, the clue is if you have a square root in the answer, you probably need that. But this one,
Just gonna make some room. Can you erase that?
yeah. Okay, so for this one, we just have to find the answers for this so we can take the square root of both sides. We know the absolute value of x plus 3 has to equal 5. So x could be 2 or a -8. So that one, you didn't have to bring out the big gun at all, did you? That was easy. Okay. Okay, so for this one, the equation above represents a parabola. Which of the following gives us the x-intercepts? Right off the bat, the x-intercepts would be right here. Doesn't that make sense?
2 and 4, right?
2 and 4 would be our x-intercepts. And they're very obviously there. So let's try a book one. So I want to go to 245, number 3. More examples of how you don't have to use the quadratic formula always. So here we just have x squared plus 6x plus 9 is 36. I can subtract the 9. X.
Or you're trying to set it equal to 0.
Yeah. Okay. So
subtract the 36.
So subtract the 36. Sorry. Yeah, that would be smarter. So then we'll get x squared plus 6x minus 27. So that'll factor x plus 9, x minus 3. We want the positive solution. So x plus 9 is 0. X could be a negative 9. That's not going to work. But x minus 3 could equal 0. So x would be 3. Does that work for everybody? So you don't always need to bring out that big gun quadratic formula. Okay, back to the packet. And like I said, you can give this packet to your parents and say, would you like to do this? This is what I had to do. And they might buy you a pizza. Okay, so if we have this, we're trying to get a plus 5. Well, let's just a squared plus 10a minus 39. I can factor this.
That's equals 0, right? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so that'll be an x plus 13 and an a minus 3. So a could be a negative 13, but a's got to be positive. So a has to be a 3, but they weren't even nice because they asked for 3 plus 5, so you would just put in 8. Good. Okay, we did this one last week. Do you remember we did this last week and we said,
Don't square both sides.
don't go into squaring, just try these numbers. Remember this? I wanted to hit this one more time. So let's put 2 in for A, or 2 in for X. So 2 minus 2 equal 2 minus 4. Does 2 equal a minus 2?
Well, it's the square root of 0, right?
Yeah. Sorry. That's writing my commentator.
Yeah.
2's out. Okay, let's try 3. And to save time, you don't have to square these guys. So this will be 3 minus 2. Does the square root of 1 equal a minus 1? No. Well, it has to be 6, but let's just try it. So if we put in a 6, we'll get 6 minus 2 equals 6 minus 4. Does the square root of 4 equal 2? Yes, all day long. And so D would be my answer. And so you don't have to go through all the headache of squaring both sides. Just try the numbers. Okay, let's try this one. Oh. So we have x plus y squared. So x plus y squared. If we FOIL that, that's just going to be x squared plus 2xy. So they tell us that x squared plus y squared is a. So these two guys will be a. And then xy is a minus 10, so we need 2. So that'll be 2a minus 20. We have the a still, so that's going to give us 3a minus 20, which is answer choice D. Makes sense to everybody? Good. Okay, let me just check on Julia over here. She's good. Okay. We're on the page 22. Ooh. I know if this wasn't on the test, we wouldn't do all this. So we have to A plus B, and we're covering all the math you ever had in your life, so. And we're hoping that this is going to result in scholarship money. That's why we want you to take. This is over AB. So A squared plus B squared, that's going to give us 22. Then we need 2 of these, which is 2 times 4. All over 4, and 30 over 4 on this planet is 7.5. Okay, we're good? Okay, here comes we know what to do. We have to bring out our discriminant. Try this one. See if you beat me to the answer. Everybody good with one solution? And you could put it in Desmos and see it only cross at one point, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Did I lose Silas? Let's see. I don't know.
Possibly.
Possibly lost Silas. Okay. All right, let's try number 8. We're almost done. So we have y equals x squared minus 2x plus c.
So you could either put the points in, or they tell you the zeros, so you know the factored form. So either way you want to do this one.
Yeah,
X plus 4, x minus 6.
yeah. So we could do x plus 4, x minus 6.
Equals 0.
And so that would give us, we're trying to get the c, which would be a negative 24. I could also just put in a 4, the negative 4 in for x. And I have y equals minus 4 squared minus 2 times a minus 4 plus c. That'll give me y equals negative 4,
Squared, which is 16,
16
plus 8 plus
plus 8 plus c. So that's going to give me y is 24 plus c, and I'll get,
You said y is 0, right?
yeah, y is 0. Sorry, I knew that all along. Y is 0.
Yeah, I know.
So c has to be a negative 24. So you could either put those in or see it. Okay, now, using the vertex form, we're almost done with math, guys. Okay, the graph of this is a parabola. We want the vertex form, and for that, it would be answer choice D. So in the interest of time,
So they don't give you that vertex form
they don't give you
formula.
they don't give you the
Right, because
vertex.
you have to know it.
And HK is your vertex. Okay, so let's keep going. If we had this equation, okay, let's analyze this together. If it's a negative, does it go up or down? It goes downward, right? So this will be true. This parabola opens downward. So we can sort of see the vertex will be 4, 6. This is true. The line of symmetry is going to be right at 4. This is we don't know that the y-intercept is 0, 6. And of course, you could put that in Desmos and see it.
So that one was B then?
Yeah, so this one was B, not the right answer. Okay. Okay, so looking at this, we're on page 24. Hallelujah. Okay. So we know the vertex form, basically, it's
A.
x,
There's an A.
there's an A, I know, but it's x minus h squared plus k. And so if
HK is the vertex, right?
hk is the vertex, so 2 will be the vertex, so it's going to be x minus 2 squared minus 3. Okay, so now for this
And you
one,
could put those into Desmos if you forgot.
yeah, you could put them in Desmos. We're almost done, guys. Thanks for hanging on. In the xy coordinate plane, the graph of the following assumes its maximum value, so it's going to have a max.
So that happens at negative B over 2A.
Negative b over 2a is our vertex. We could graph it, obviously, on
Well, we don't have B, so
yeah, it would be hard to graph it then.
yeah.
But we know we have negative b over 2a equals 2.
Right.
And so negative b, a is a minus 2, so that'll be negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4. Multiply both sides, negative b equals a negative 8. So b is 8. Yeah, we couldn't put that in Desmos. Okay. So you could have a word problem involving quadratics. In the interest of time, because Jimmy needs to get his hands on you for the grammar. Let's just go to number 1. This is like a physics problem. Okay, the function d above models the distance in feet that a ball
Rolls down.
rolls down an incline from 2 seconds. How many seconds? We want the ball to go 140 feet, so that's our distance. So if 140 equals 1.4 t squared, we'll just divide this by 1.4. That's a point, sorry. So t squared is 100. And so it takes 10 seconds for the ball to roll down the hill.
Oh, and we can disregard -10 because you can't have negative time.
Yeah, you can't have negative time or negative distance.
Skipping.
We're going to skip this one in the interest of time. And so,
Last
thing. Ooh, I'm more excited than you are.
Jacob is cheering.
I'm more excited than you are, Jacob. Okay. You could get a quadratic cross with a line, and you could go to Desmos. So let's
Yeah, you
just,
could use Desmos or substitution, basically.
yeah, so let's just try one problem here. Let's try number 1. We're almost home. So we'll have x is 2y. So we'll have y squared minus 8 equals 2y. That's what equals x. So then we're going to subtract the 2y. Well, we don't have to bring out the big gun now. We can just factor, because there's no plus or minus anything. So y could be a 4, or y could be a -2. But this is a trap, because we want y to be a 4 or a -2. Does that make sense? See how they were a little nasty about putting a trap in there for you?
So that one's C.
So that one's C. Last page. I said, really, show your parents this packet. They might have mercy on you for something. Okay.
So we could use Desmos, right, if we wanted to?
Yeah, we could put these in Desmos, or we have, we could take x minus 8 squared equals 4, and we could take the square root of both sides. So that'll give us x minus 8 is 2, absolute value. So x could be a 10, or x could be a 6. And the difference between 10 and 6 would be 4. And you could put this one on Desmos. And the last one, I would just put this on Desmos. So we have our parabolas given. We're drawing the line. So our slope is 2. So I'm just going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And so our solution set would be 0, -6, and 4, 2. And so that's going to be answer choice
It's B.
B.
All right, and I'm going to jump in because we already took a break.
Hallelujah. I'm so, I'm the more math weary one of anybody, I'm sure.
Oh, she's fine.
I'm fine.
She's fine.
I'm gonna go lay down. Jacob's clapping for me. Jacob, your daddy emailed and he said, I can't wait to see where Jacob's life takes him. That's what he said to me in a text,
Oh, that's nice.
in an email. Oh, I know. He might, okay.
All right, we're going to switch gears. We're done with math. We're going to jump directly into English because we already took a break and math went way over today. We knew it would because that was our hardest math lesson. Apologize. Okay, so we're going to do grammar 2. So find grammar 2. So we did grammar 1 last week, so we're on to grammar 2. I'm going to pull it up. Mostly we're going to be doing pronoun, antecedent agreement because it's on the test. All right, I'm going to close these out. open up my grammar too. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about pronouns, the antecedents mainly. So we'll start with pronouns. So pronouns are just used to take the place of other nouns. So I can use the pronoun it to refer to the carnival. Um, I can use the pronoun they to refer back to the candidates. That's sort of what we're doing here. And the main rule is that a pronoun must agree with its antecedent in person, gender, and number. Ostensibly because you're saying they're the same thing. That's sort of why. So if the pronoun is plural, the antecedent would be plural, that kind of thing. Oh, and so in formal standard written English, we prefer to use he or she when we do not know the gender of an individual, and this is true for about 100 years. All right, so we'll just fix a couple of these, and we'll just make the corrections right on the page. Don't worry about rewriting this sentence. So here is the sentence. The typical teenager is involved in many activities outside of their school. So here I have the typical teenager singular is involved in many activities outside of plural possessive pronoun their school. So we have a contradiction here. We don't know the gender of the typical teenager, so we technically should use both in our formal writing. And I know informally you would say something like this and no one would care, but the SAT tests formal standard written English. So the typical teenager is involved in many activities outside of his or her school. Okay, and this has actually changed over time. So 100 years ago, or anything that's written before that, anything that's written a couple hundred years ago, this is what they would have said. This is grammatically correct. Stylistically, however, this would not be the best choice today. They would have just said the typical teenager is involved in many activities outside of his school. That's just how they wrote. So that's how Dickens wrote, that's how Virginia Woolf wrote, that's how George Eliot wrote, that's how everyone wrote. They would have just written like that. Um, but like roughly around the time that women gained the right to vote, this changed universally, and everyone started using both pronouns in newspapers and in all of their writing. So that's just sort of how this has changed over time. It's kind of interesting. If you read anything that's truly old, everything will just default to a singular masculine. Just how they did it. But that changed. All right, let's do the next one. It is a sign that an infant is ready for solid food when it loses the tongue thrust reflex. So we have a singular infant, and we have singular it, but we reserve that pronoun for things, not people. So an infant can't be an it. Do we know the gender of the infant? We should use both, and this has been true for about 100 years. It is a sign that an infant is ready for solid food when he or she loses the tongue thrust reflex. And I don't know if they knew about the tongue thrust reflex 100 years ago, but they would have just said it is a sign that an infant is ready for solid food when he loses the tongue thrust reflex, because this has changed over time. Okay, watch out for pronoun shift. So I said that pronouns must agree with their antecedents in person, gender, and number. This is what happens when you change person mid-sentence. It's incorrect. So, oh, it's hard to write on this tablet. I apologize. Third person, second person. All right, so we can't shift from a third person to a second person mid-sentence. One cannot play well if you don't practice. You just have to maintain person. So we could say one cannot play well if one doesn't practice, or we could say you won't play well if you don't practice. We just have to maintain person. Okay, so there are three pronoun cases. Here they all are. So the subjective case means the pronoun is the doer of the action, the subject of the sentence. The objective case means the pronoun is either a direct or indirect object receiving some type of action from the subject. And the possessive case is for ownership. So I have a ball, he gave it to me, now I'm an indirect object in that sentence. It is now mine, my ball. Who becomes whom? That's a very important one. So the objective form of who is whom. To whom am I speaking? So I am the subject of that sentence. I am doing the speaking. The subject is always the doer of the action. And whom would be receiving my speech. So that's an indirect object. So here they all are. I enjoy a good movie. So we use the subjective form of this pronoun because that is the doer of the action, the subject. You wouldn't say me enjoy a good movie, for example. Are you mailing them? I'm assuming they are letters or packages. It's a direct object, or they are direct objects, I guess. What is the subject of this sentence? Anybody know? This sentence here. It's always the doer of the action. Maybe I'll just make a note of that.
You?
Yep, you're right. Okay, good. All right, next one. Thank you. Okay, so you is still the subject of this sentence. The letters are still the direct object. Now we have an indirect object. So the indirect object is the person or thing with reference to which the action of a verb is performed. Okay, so there they all are. Next, we have the object of the preposition. Okay, so we got to talk about prepositions. So prepositions are just a fundamental part of speech, just like nouns, adjectives, adverbs, or anything else. And some prepositions would be words like for, to, from, unto, before, after, with, against, on top of, in between, next to. There are so many prepositions that are commonly used in English. And there are only two rules that you need to remember about prepositions. Two things to remember about prepositions. So the first thing has to do with the prefix of the word preposition. What does that prefix mean for the word preposition? Just shout it out at somebody.
Before.
Yep, exactly. So prepositions are supposed to go before other words to create prepositional phrases. That's all that they do in English. That's the only thing we use them for. So I could take the preposition with and I could add some words to it and say with what money, make a prepositional phrase, something like that. And they're supposed to go, yeah, so they go in front of other words. So that's why they say you should not end a sentence on a preposition because prepositions are supposed to go in front of other things. I'm going to do it. I'm going to end a sentence on a preposition. This should sound incorrect because it is incorrect. All right, here is my sentence. Where is my money at? Okay, I just ended a sentence on a preposition, which is something I said we shouldn't do. You would just say, where's my money? So I didn't need a preposition at all. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to end a sentence on a preposition. I'm going to try to make it stranger because it should sound incorrect because it is. Let me see here. All right, here's another question. Who is there at? Question mark. It sounds nuts, right? Because how crazy is it if I just stop without the rest of my prepositional phrase? Who is there at the door? So I took a preposition at, I added some words to it, I made a prepositional phrase at the door, and that's what we use prepositions for. So they say don't end sentences on prepositions. That's the first thing. The only other thing you need to remember about prepositions, just trying to erase here, is this, the object of the preposition. There's only two things that we need to know. So what happens is everything in your prepositional phrase moves from the subjective form to the objective form. So we becomes us, I becomes me. All of those changes happen. Where's that chart? All of these changes happen, and everything in your prepositional phrase will be in the objective case. Who becomes whom, all of those changes happen. They just call it the object of the preposition. So here's our example. For we parents, it can be hard to find the time to exercise is incorrect. It would be for us parents, it can be hard to find the time to exercise. Okay, so that's the object of the preposition. And that's the only two things you need to know about that. I promise, those are the only two things you need to know about prepositions in English. Don't try not to end a sentence on one. They're supposed to go in front of other things to create a prepositional phrase and the object of the preposition. Next, we're going to go over reflexive and intensive pronouns. So people have problems with these for some reason. These are the pronouns myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, oneself, ourselves, themselves, and yourselves. And we only use these words in two different ways. We use them reflexively and we use them intensively. So if we're using them reflexively, it means that the subject, the doer of the action in the sentence, is also an object in the sentence. So someone is performing an action on himself, something like that. Um, in reflexive, like reflection. So the subject is also an object. It's like kind of looking at looking at a mirror. And we also use them intensively, which is just for emphasis, and it's most similar to an exclamation mark. If I had to compare it to anything in English, it's just there for emphasis. So here are the two different ways we use these pronouns. The woman saw herself in the mirror. Okay, so the woman is the subject of this sentence, the doer of the action, but she is also an object. What she's seeing herself. So that's reflexive. And the way to check it is just try taking it out. The woman saw in the mirror. Have I lost meaning? Yeah. So that's reflexive. The woman is performing an action on or for herself. And same thing with this man buying a sweater. So the man's the subject, he is the doer of the action. He's buying a direct object, he's buying a sweater. Who's he buying it for? He's also the indirect object. So because he is also an object in his own sentence, we use this reflexive pronoun himself. And if we take it out just to test it, we can see if it was there for emphasis or if it's an object. Let's try taking it out. The man is buying a sweater. I have lost meaning. I don't know for whom he is buying the sweater. Okay, the intensive. So the intensive, these are the same pronouns, all these self or selves words. And now we are just using them for emphasis. It's not an object. It's not anything important in the sentence. It's only here for emphasis. Christine made all the birthday decorations herself. So I can try taking it out. Let's see if we've lost meaning. Christine made all the birthday decorations, period. I haven't really lost any meaning. So that was just there for some emphasis. Just like this example, she stayed up all night writing her paper, as I have done countless times myself. Let's try taking it out. She stayed up all night writing her paper, as I have done countless times, period. So we haven't lost any meaning. So that was just here for emphasis, similar to an exclamation mark. That's just our test. Try to pull it out, see what happens. All right, so we're just gonna circle whether these are reflexive or intensive, because there's only two ways that we use these pronouns, but in a moment we're gonna see how everyone misuses these, or a lot of people do. You'll definitely notice it when people do it. All right, here we go. The gymnast picked herself up off the ground and tried again. I'm gonna try taking out the pronoun. The gymnast picked up off the ground and tried again. I have lost meaning, so that was reflexive. So the gymnast is both subject and object. We ourselves are to blame for exceeding the budget. I'm going to try taking it out. We are to blame for exceeding the budget. I haven't lost any meaning, just a little bit of emphasis. Intensive. Fine, I'll do it myself, she replied. I like this example because I can hear the emphasis. Fine, I'll do it, she replied. Have I lost any meaning? No, just the emphasis. That was intensive. The team treated themselves to some frozen yogurt to celebrate their victory. The team treated to some frozen yogurt to celebrate their victory. So they were the indirect object, reflexive. Last one, she found herself penniless and friendless. I'm going to try pulling it out. She found penniless and friendless. So that was reflexive. Okay. Now we are on to, this is how people misuse these. Robert and myself went to the store. Okay, it would just be Robert and I, right? So we're doing the action, we're doing the going. Yeah, Robert and I went to the store. So yeah, we don't need a reflexive or an intensive. The principal gave Joseph and myself a warning. So the principal is our subject. The warning is a direct object, and Joseph and me are indirect objects. So it would not be reflexive. Okay. I'm gonna have you guys fix these ones. Just fix these six. Make all of your corrections right on the page. Don't rewrite the whole sentence. You probably just have to change a word or two or flip something around. But this is everything we went over. Object of the preposition, probably some self or selves words. Yeah, I see one. So try these six. Just make your corrections right here, and we'll take a couple minutes, and then we'll go over them. And then we will do some real SAT questions in a minute. Would anyone like more time? You guys good? Ready to go? Oop, I zoomed in. Yikes. Okay. All right. Let's try the first one. Between you and I, Martin is not a very strong leader. What do you guys think? Did anyone want to try this one? Yeah, go ahead, Sailor.
Would I go to me?
Yep, it would. So between is a preposition. Between you and me, oop, hard to write on this tablet. That's an M. Ugh. Between you and me, Martin is not a very strong leader. We could even say between us. That would work. We just have to be in the objective case. Between us, Martin is not a very strong leader. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say between you and I, or at least you shouldn't. Object of the preposition. Who did you give the money to? And to is a preposition. Go ahead, Jake.
To whom did you give the money?
Perfect. You made both corrections, which is awesome. So who becomes whom because it's the object, the indirect object, and the direct object was the money, and the subject is you. To whom did you give the money? And we're no longer ending the sentence on a preposition, which we shouldn't do. It just sounds informal. Okay, next one. You and me should have dinner together this week. We would be doing the dining, so we are subjects. You and I should have dinner together this week. I regret to inform you, Kathy and myself will be unable to attend. So we would be doing the not attending. So it would be Kathy and I will be unable to attend. Maggie convinced Jack and myself to join her for dinner. Okay, so Maggie's the subject. Jack and me are objects. The objective form of I is me. We don't need a self or a selves word here. Maggie's doing the convincing. We are receiving convincing, including me. There will be four of us at the game. All right. Pronoun ambiguity. So watch out for pronoun ambiguity. I hope I said earlier that every pronoun must have an antecedent. That is just that to which the pronoun refers. And if you can't figure out who they are, it could be an issue. So watch out for ambiguous pronouns. You have to always be able to figure out who or what we're talking about ultimately. A lot of the time it's just because we have too many he's or she's in the same sentence. Something like this. For his birthday, Frank gave Dave tickets to see his favorite band. Can I tell who likes this band? Is it Frank's favorite band? Is it Dave's favorite band? The way to fix it is just to put the antecedent back in. For his birthday, Frank gave Dave tickets to see Dave's favorite band. Now that I know it's his favorite band and not Frank's. Something like that, usually. Here is an example. Watch out for pronoun ambiguity. Can we figure out what's going on in this one? When Kate and Kathleen spoke, she explained she could not come to the party. I can't really tell what's going on. Maybe it's Kate's party. Kate is hosting a party and Kathleen unfortunately can't make it. Maybe the reverse is true. Maybe it's Kathleen's party. I can't tell at all what's going on. Maybe Kate dislikes Kathleen. Who knows? I'm going to just say clarify. Yeah, we need more information here. Um, Two, Jake explained to his father he was nervous about doing his taxes. Okay. Maybe this is Jake's first job. This is the first time he has to file taxes. Jake explains to his father he was nervous about doing his taxes. Or maybe Jake's a CPA. Jake prepares his father's taxes every year. That's possible. Jake's father wants to write off a pleasure yacht as a business expense. This makes Jake nervous. Jake's going to lose his CPA license. We could clarify, we could fix it, we could do this. Jake explained to his father he was nervous about doing his own taxes. That would work. Or we could say that he's nervous about doing his father's taxes, whatever the case may be. Okay, indefinite pronouns. So certain pronouns are always singular. These ones in this box here. And this is a little strange. So sometimes we need to refer to everything, all matter in the universe. It's always singular. As we use it in a sentence, it always takes a singular verb form. It is singular. Or maybe we need to refer to everyone in this room or everyone in this house. How this word acts in a sentence is singular. It's singular. It's a little strange. They just call it a singular indefinite pronoun. You would think maybe it's plural, but it's not. It's singular. Um, Sometimes we need to refer to nothing, the absence of all matter. It's singular. It's a little strange. Like, I guess like 0 factorial is 1. Makes some sense. Like here's nothing. Here's one nothing. It's right here. Were nothingness to exist, there could only ever be one instance of it, I guess. Singular. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through these. And I mean, this is getting pretty, we're nitpicking, but I just I want to get you used to how nuanced it can be. So when you see an SAT question, it's um, pronoun antecedent agreement. It's like 2 seconds. Oh, the pronoun's plural. The antecedent must be plural, something like that. So this is really kind of, I don't know. Singular everyone will read in an advanced level when they, plural pronoun, have is a plural form of this verb. So that's incorrect too. We have to fix it. Do we know the gender of everyone? Not technically. Technically, we don't. All right, so it should be everyone will read in an advanced level when he or she has completed this course. So that is a singular form of to be. Okay. So now it's singular. Singular, singular. That's just every antecedent must agree with its um, pronoun in person, gender, and number. That was number, singular. Neither the cat on the sofa nor the dog under the table, singular, singular, seem to notice me. So here I have a compound subject. The compound subject is actually singular because I'm talking about neither the cat nor the dog. I'm using a correlative conjunction to combine two singular entities. So my entire subject is actually singular. So we need a singular verb form. Seems. It seems to be a nice day today. So that's singular. It seems. They seem to notice me, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying neither the cat nor the dog seems to notice me. Similar to it seems, right? So singular subject, singular verb form. If anyone, singular, comes to the front door and they, plural pronoun, ask for me, then tell them, plural pronoun, I'm not here. All right, so this is singular. If anyone comes to the front door and he or she asks, the verb changes because singular subjects take singular verb forms. Just how it works. Okay. So if he asks, it's not like they ask, right? Plural. It's not plural. If anyone comes to the front door and he or she asks for me, then tell him or her I'm not here. Oop, him or her, sorry. I doubt that they're gonna get this. Um, I don't know. We want to over prepare you for this test. All right, relative pronouns. Oh yeah, this is definitely on the test though. So we're gonna go over two types of relative clauses, and this is just a comma rule. This is another one of those instances where I explain something for 5 or 10 minutes and it's just a comma rule. I'm sorry, but it is just a comma rule. What's the difference between these two sentences? Mainly the punctuation. Here are two types of clauses. Factories that emit greenhouse gases must be better regulated. Volleyball, which is a popular sport, involves two teams, a ball, and a net. So why is the second clause offset by commas, whereas the first one cannot have commas? Well, it's just a rule, just a comma rule. The first one is a restrictive clause. We've restricted the referent factories. The second one is a non-restrictive clause. We have not restricted the referent volleyball. You may have also learned these as essential clauses, which is it's the same thing. It's either restrictive in the sense that we're restricting the referent, or you can think of it as essential to understanding the sentence. If you remove the clause, you lose meaning. So I'm going to try taking it out. Let's see if we've lost meaning. Factories must be better regulated. I wasn't talking about all factories, right? So I have restricted the referent factories. If I try removing it, we lose meaning. So no commas. That's just the rule. Second one, I'm going to try pulling this volleyball. I'm going to pull the clause out. Volleyball involves two teams, a ball, and a net. Have we lost meaning? No, not really. So I was talking about all volleyball. So I have not restricted the referent volleyball. So we need commas. It's just a comma rule. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's one or two other little things we have to remember. Oh, this is like the shorthand way of remembering it. We just pretend that the commas are little scoopers. If you could scoop out the clause and the sentence retains its meaning, you needed the commas, you needed the scoopers. That's kind of a real simple way to remember it. So that's the shorthand way to remember it. Only a couple other things. This is important, so I'm going to highlight it. The relative pronoun that is only used with restrictive clauses and never takes a comma. So you should never see a comma in front of the relative pronoun that. It just doesn't take one. Yeah, who and which can be used with either restrictive or non-restrictive clauses and may or may not be offset with commas. Okay, this is just a comma rule. It's always funny when I explain something and it's a huge explanation for this tiny little comma rule. Pandas, which are bears native to South Central China, are endangered but increasing in number. Do I need commas? Where do they go? What do you guys think? Anybody? We'll be done on time, I promise.
It's a witch clause, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. So I could try taking it out. Have I lost meaning? No. So we need commas. Pandas, which are bears native to South Central China, are endangered but increasing in number. So if we can scoop the clause out, we needed the commas. Yeah, that was a non-restrictive clause. Men who have beards may find that their faces become itchy. I am going to try to take out the clause. Men may find that their faces become itchy. Have I lost meaning? Yeah. Why? I was only talking about the bearded men, so I have restricted the referent men. So that is a restrictive clause, so no commas. Can't have them. Men who have beards may find that their faces become itchy. It's just a common rule. Dough that takes some time to rise must be allowed to sit before it is baked. So you could realize if you were savvy that the relative pronoun that never takes a comma. It's only used with restrictive clauses. Or we could scoop out the clause. Dough must, and let's see if we've lost meaning. Dough must be allowed to sit before it is baked. Why? I'm making a flatbread. So I was only talking about leavened dough, not all types of dough. So I have restricted the referent dough. Pull up my commas. Can't have them. Yeah, the relative pronoun that never takes a comma. You'll see it on the SAT for sure. Okay, now we are at the real, yeah, we reached the real SAT questions. So we're going to do some of these. I think these are mostly pronoun antecedent agreement questions. I can tell because all the answer choices are pronouns. Yeah, many of them are. That one might have to do with contractions as well. I see some contractions. Okay, so I'm gonna have you try all of these. Let me see how many we have. Okay, we have 9. So we're gonna try 9 of these. Take about 10 minutes. Just give these all a shot. We will go over all of them, and we're gonna keep up. We're gonna keep track of how many we miss out of 9 at the end. All right, it's been about 9 minutes. I'm going to start going over these just in the interest of time. I apologize if you're still working on the last one, but just so we get out at 8:30. All right, let's look at the first one. Most of these are just pronoun antecedent agreement, which is the main thing we did today, so that's good. All right, here we go. At Friedrich Schiller University Jena, Pierre Stallforth and others analyzed the microbial DNA preserved in tooth plaque from 34 ancient humans and 12 Neanderthals. Genomes of two unknown species of green sulfur bacteria from the genus Chlorobium were sequenced. These species may be unknown because they have not been sequenced before or because blank now extinct. All right, so we have our antecedent, which is species, which is plural. So we need a plural pronoun that can refer back to species. I bet we hope that we are extinct after that polynomial lesson. That's a funny one. Yeah, they are now extinct, which would be answer choice D for that one. I'm going to read the whole sentence. These species, we can use the plural pronoun they to refer back to many species. These species may be unknown because they have not been sequenced before or because they are now extinct. All right, number two. The word primogeniture means firstborn. In medieval Europe, the eldest legitimate child would inherit the bulk of the father's estate, while younger siblings were often left to receive smaller portions of land or blank, compelled to seek other means of livelihood. So here we have siblings, which is plural. So we need a plural pronoun that can refer back to the siblings, they. I'm going to read the corrected version. Okay. In medieval Europe, the eldest legitimate child would inherit the bulk of the father's estate, while younger siblings were often left to receive smaller portions of land or they were compelled to seek other means of livelihood. Plural antecedent, plural pronoun. Number three, Curiosity is a Mars rover that was launched from Cape Canaveral on November 26, 2011. The rover is still operational. As of January 26, 2021, the rover has traveled over 24 kilometers. Blank mass of 899 kilograms includes 80 kilograms of scientific instruments. All right, so here we have a rover. It is singular, one rover. So we need a singular pronoun that can refer back to this rover. But is it A or B? I have a test for this. So the contraction IT apostrophe S means it is or it has. So the trick or the way to check these, just read it that way in the sentence. You'll immediately know if it's A or B. I'm going to try it. It is mass of 899 kilograms, includes 80 kilograms of scientific instruments. That didn't work. So no apostrophe. You can do the same thing with this contraction. Oh, sorry, it's hard to write on this tablet. You can use the same strategy with this if you have THERE, which is usually an adverb, or THEIR. Just read it as they are. You'll immediately know if you need the plural possessive pronoun or if you need the contraction. It's just you should never miss one of those on the test because you could just do that little test. Seriously, it's a lifesaver if you're taking a hard test. Why struggle? Just read it, read the contraction out. You'll probably see one of those on Saturday if you take a practice test. All right, Pangea, meaning all land in ancient Greek, was a supercontinent that existed during the late Paleozoic and early Mesozoic eras. The movement of the Earth's tectonic plates led to Pangea's breakup and the resulting new configuration of continents and ocean basins. The concept of Pangea, which was first proposed by Alfred Wegener, revolutionized our understanding of Earth's geological evolution. I'm going to try to scoop out the clause. Let's see if we've lost meaning. The concept of Pangea revolutionized our understanding of Earth's geological evolution. So I don't think we've restricted the referent Pangea. That's a non-restrictive clause. Non-restrictive clauses take commas, which was answer choice B. On to number five. Robert Howell is a Saulteaux First Nations Canadian artist and educator who was born in St. Boniface, Manitoba in 1947. He is an artist, object of the preposition for, whom both Western and Indigenous artistic traditions are foundational to his artistic practice. Okay, object of the preposition there. Number 6. Immediately, I see commas in front of the relative pronoun that, and I'm skeptical. All right, I'm going to read the passage. In the early 20th century, the English physicist Henry Moseley discovered a mathematical connection between wavelengths of X-rays produced and the atomic numbers of metals that were targeted with X-rays. Russian chemist Dmitry Mendeleev formulated the periodic law and in 1869 published a table of the elements that predicted the properties of germanium, gallium, and scandium, which had yet to be discovered. Both of these scientists helped to create the modern periodic table that organizes elements by their atomic number. So just remember the relative pronoun that doesn't take a comma and is only used with restricted clauses. On to number 7, we're almost done. Okay, couple more. All right, more pronoun antecedent agreement. Researchers have discovered large freshwater reservoirs below the coastal seafloor that may one day provide relief to areas experiencing drought. Analysis has determined the water to be comprised of recent rainwater and seawater. Fresh water is less dense than seawater, so blank to the surface. All right, so here we have water. Water is singular, so it rises to the surface, singular. Fresh water is less dense than seawater, so it rises to the surface. Pronoun antecedent agreement. Number 8. In Renaissance Europe, ultramarine blue was a pigment made from lapis lazuli, a mineral mined in Afghanistan. The mineral was exported to Italy, where artists such as Masaccio, Perugino, and Titian would blank for the clothing of central figures in their paintings, such as the Virgin Mary. So here we have one mineral, which is singular. So we need a singular pronoun that can refer back to one mineral, it. So these artists would utilize it for the clothing of central figures in their paintings. All right, another last one. Okay, scientists have discovered that algal blooms are growing larger and appearing more frequently. Climate change may be partially responsible for this phenomenon. Satellite imagery tracking algal blooms worldwide between 2003 and 2020 has revealed that blank increased by 13% in size and 59% in frequency. So here we have many blooms, which are plural. Okay, so they have, that's plural. They have increased by 13% in size and 59% in frequency. Right. Satellite imagery tracking algal blooms worldwide between these years has revealed that they have increased by 13% in size and 59% in frequency. So add up how many you got right out of 9. If you got 8 out of 9 or 9 out of 9, that's awesome. Your English score is probably in the 700s. If you got 5 out of 9, that's probably a 500 English score, which is close to the national average. And we're done a couple minutes early. So thanks for putting up with that crazy polynomial lesson. I apologize. Mrs. Hessler apologizes. She didn't want to do it either. So um, yeah, you guys are great. And just be sure to take a practice test this weekend. You can take it Saturday or Sunday. Just take whatever's next. So if you took test 4 last time, take test 5. If you've already taken those tests, take 6. Just take something. And yeah, and then we'll see you next Wednesday. Any questions? You guys just can sign off if you're good. All right. Well, you guys have a great night. Thanks for being such a great group. All right. See you guys next time.
Thank you. See you
Yeah,
next time.
audio,
Thank
Jacob.
you.